on any of those platforms. Occasionally I share graphics and I share things that I can't do on TikTok. So if you're over there, come on over. But let me know who's car shopping right now. If you are shopping for a car right now, or you will be in the next 12 months, welcome to Car Shopping Secrets. We're going to be going deep. My name is Deshone, the auto advisor. I was in the car business from 2006 to 2020. Left after COVID, and I have been spending all my time since then making sure that people like you know how to save all the money on cars that you need to. So we'll give people on YouTube a chance to come in. Hunt, I see you. What's a good car to get an SUV? It's too many. I always tell people, don't ask people about their opinions on cars. That's where data is. That's where you need data. Google. A lot of people don't realize there's somewhere along the lines of 40 million used cars sold a year. In a healthy market, 17 million new cars. I think sometimes if you're not in the industry, if you're obviously, you guys are just, your car buyers, so you don't really know the magnitude of the industry. There's, 50 to 60 million cars, really 60 million plus cars sold a year. So you could, but it's not a good practice to ask a person their opinion on a car. Now, what you should do is figure out kind of the category of car you want, pick one, and I always say, look at the competitors. So if I'm looking at for a four-door sedan and I like the Toyota Camry, then I'm going to look at the 3, 4, 5 top competitors of the Toyota Camry. And that's usually enough to help you go deep on, deep from there. So hold on, let me just make sure we all good. Can everybody hear? Audio's clear? Is everybody? Give me ones in the chat if audio is clear. I just want to make sure. Hey, Ty said, I just purchased your book this morning. I was just reading. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Enjoy it. Use it. And please make sure you reach out to me with your success story. DM me. I can't wait to hear how much you save, how much you pay, what deals you get. Everybody, my new book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, is for the launch of it, we're doing 75% off. It's normally a $97 digital book, but you can go to my TikTok bio, you can go to my Instagram bio, or you can go to deshonsbook.com and you can get your copy for the next 30 minutes for 75% off. That is our gift. That's my launch. That is like, let's get this information in the world. Thank you, Jonathan. Thank you. Confirming audio is clear. So everybody just start typing your questions and we'll go at least an hour. I want to do just some serious questions. I thought I had my document open and I didn't. So while y'all are posting your questions, give me 15 seconds to do this, but start just posting them. Here we go. All right. And if you love great information, then tag a friend, because they're going to be mad at you if they find out you were following me and you were using what I'm teaching you and you were saving all this money and they went out here to buy a car and you didn't tell them about me. They will certainly be mad at you. All right, hold on. I just had to post a comment. I want to make sure everybody know on Facebook and on YouTube. I want to put the link for you guys to get your book now at the 75% off. So here we go. There it is. All right, let's get to it. Is it good to get the warranty? It depends on the car, Lucas. You cannot look. Expensive repair. Here's the rule of thumb for warranties, y'all. You only need a warranty when the car has expensive repairs or a history of breaking. Again, that goes back to the data. These are little 3-minute things we do on Google. Literally, Google the car you are looking at. 2020, always put in the year. 2019, I don't know, Hyundai, whatever, repair cost. When you see that, I have something I do before we ever look at a car. You want to type in that same term, longevity. Longevity will tell you the long term of if that car has problems, the data. You want to skim that first page on Google. If you see a bunch of articles that say problems, electric problems, reliability ratings, that's enough for you to know. Now, a problem car is different from a car that has high maintenance costs or high cost of repair. Usually import cars, anything that's coming from overseas in terms of Europe, you usually have higher cost for parts. That means when something breaks, it's more expensive to fix. The higher the cost of repair, the more likely a warranty will pay for itself, because that's what you want, right? Shout out to the sharers. Thank you. I see a bunch of people who hit that share button. I appreciate you all. What you want when you get a warranty is for it to pay for itself. Not saying you want to use it, but you don't want to spend $3 grand or $2 grand or $4 grand on a warranty and then you don't use it. Yeah, it's like an insurance policy. That's really what it is. It's an insurance against, repairs. But at the same time, you don't want to spend $4 grand and you end up not using it. You could have basically kept that money and then just protected yourself, if something goes wrong. But if your car has a high repair cost and expensive parts, then yeah, warranty is worth it. I used to tell people when I was with Mercedes-Benz, some of you know I worked for Mercedes-Benz for 5 years, General Motors for 5 years. I would tell anyone who was purchasing a Mercedes-Benz and they were going to keep it a long time, buy as much warranty as you could afford. Let's go. All right, we're going to be going to questions all over. I got Instagram over here. So as everybody come, I'm looking at all my screens to make sure I'm getting questions from every platform. Can you discuss the junk fees the dealers try to add? So the only way you can avoid the junk fees is you need to be doing your shopping from home. You can't deal with junk fees when you get to the dealership. It's too late. You've wasted your time. You need to be at home, which is what I teach. If y'all don't know, my strategy, my system I invented for car shopping is called Cars from Home. That's what it's called. 99 to 100% of your purchase with a new car or a lease can be done from home. About 90% with a used car can be done from home. You can't do 100% from home. Who knows why? Who knows why you can't do 100% of your transaction? A new car, fresh from the factory, lease or purchase, brand new, you can do that from home. But who knows why you can't do a 100% from home deal on a used car? Anybody who chimes in with the right answer, you got a free copy of my book. Because this requires a little critical thinking, but if you think about it, it'll come to you. It'll come to you. Let's go. I'm looking at all. I'm gonna count down from 10. If we don't get an answer, then I'm gonna tell. 10, 9, it could be a lemon. That's close. That's close, but not quite. Yes, exactly, H2H. DM me. Wait a minute. I don't know who came first. It might have been, I see H2H, but then we had Rich Perry who came in. Both of you DM me, and you both got a free copy of the book. Because yes, test drive. With a used car, with a new car, let's say some of you are shopping for a brand new car right now. We go test drive that car. That's actually in step 4 of my shopping process. I have a seven-step process. My book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Step 4 is when we go test drive the brand new car. You can't do that with a used car. You have to test drive a used car when you're there. And the reason why it's always the last step is because we don't want to waste our time. When we are shopping for a used car, we are always verifying junk fees as a step from home. And then once we verify that this used car is the best price in the market, that this used car it has everything we want, and it's the lowest deal in the market, it has no bogus fees, then we go to the dealership, test drive it, lock it up. That's the speed of a used car deal. But all of that upfront work must be done, or you're going to end up wasting your time. Some of you, be honest, you've walked away from deals. I don't like walking away from deals. You know why? You wasted my time. So as much as I love the fact some of you say, Deshone, I will walk away from a deal I love that. That's good, because you're not going to, I'd rather you walk away than put yourself in a bad situation. But at the same time, when you get real good, like I want you to get, when you really use what I'm teaching y'all, you won't ever have to walk away. Because when you have to walk away, somebody wasted your time and you still need a car. All right, let's go. Even though, wait, hold on. Hold on. You can't do two-part questions, y'all. Type all your questions in one thing because you can't do like I can't do two-part like you continued your question in like 2 or 3 comments. Let's go here. Leased a new car 6 weeks ago. Now find out it doesn't have all that was promised. Dealership ignores nothing you can do, Mike. Nothing you can do. Look, see, now I'm not in the business of lying to you. One thing you're going to learn about me is I'm going to tell you the hard truth. Now, I'm going to also tell you what you need to do to make sure things like that never happen again. But because somebody who you will talk to in a car dealership will say, no problem. Come on in, Mike. We'll swap you out of that car. They're about that's called 2 paychecks. We already got paid on that car that you didn't like. And unfortunately, you didn't know enough at the time to verify what was in it. Understood? We could say it's not your fault. No one told you. That's fine. This is an industry of wolves. We get it. But it doesn't change the fact a paycheck was made when you bought that car. And now come on in, we'll swap you out of that. Take that negative equity, which you're going to have because you can't buy a car or lease a car in 6 weeks and go train. The depreciation, the car, whatever you paid for the car, the current value of it is 20% less than that at this particular time. Who knows that? You buy a car for 30 grand right now. The day you buy it, this is why I go deep on these lessons on depreciation. You must know. Could y'all shout out the likes on TikTok? Could y'all just start tapping the screen if you're going to spend 10, 15 minutes with us? Let's let TikTok know that we got something over here that more people need to see. If you just start tapping the screen, you'll see the lights go up. You have to sit with that car or you have to realize the losses. And realizing the losses means I got a car, I'm okay. But if I go and switch this car, I'm losing 20%. Now, they might hide it in a payment and get you into a payment that's like, oh, I can afford that. But it don't change the fact. And you know who would never do this? Who would never switch a car that quick? Cash buyers. See, because when you pay cash for a car, thanks, Gary, you actually see, dang, I laid out 40 grand of my cash. Now you come back in 6 weeks. Hey, man, this car doesn't have the big, the camera in the back that I thought it had. Man, I want to switch out of this. When they do that deal and they show you what that car is worth, you're going to say, nah, you know what? I'll stick without the camera. Sorry, I'll get it next time. Cash buyers, because when you move cash, the numbers are so transparent, there's no room to hide any losses. But with payment buyers, oh yeah, it's the same numbers. That's the bad part. It's the same numbers. The numbers are equally as bad, except we hide it in a payment. We'll stretch out the loan. Hey, look, we switch you. You got the car you want. You got the options you wanted, and your payment is only $30 more per month, but it's $30 more per month for another year. So it's a horrible financial deal. So all I can tell you is you can do what you want. You're a grown adult, but I'm an auto advisor. I consider myself to be someone who protects the public's money, but you got to be willing to listen and say, okay, yeah, that makes sense. I got to bite the bullet because you can't switch cars that fast. I appreciate it. Thank you, Paul. Said I just got the book. Thank you. Enjoy it. Use it. Everybody, my book, Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping, is officially out. It's a digital book. The reason it's a digital book because I need to be able to update it. Things change. Vroom went out of business 2 months ago. We got to make sure we update these books. And if I had 100,000 books in print, you all will be sitting there with books that were obsolete, or at least a piece of that strategy. Anytime you see Vroom, it'd be like, oh, Vroom's out of business. So digital books, we literally update the file and my scripts are in there. Anything I want to update, I could do it. And then you open it up and you got the new version. So everybody could get theirs for 75% off in my TikTok bio or my Instagram bio, or go to deshonesbook.com. 75% off for 30 minutes while we're on this blog. If you're seeing this, then it's still available for 75%. Bought the course but haven't gotten my copy yet. Just email support. Charlotte, here's the thing, y'all. I have a specific email for people who purchase stuff from me. Obviously, y'all can see we got like 400 people on here right now, tons of people who I'm interacting with. But when you purchase something from me, the first thing I give you is a support email. I have a support team. Don't get me in DMs. Hey, Deshone, I didn't receive. Just email the support team, because most times I'm not going to see the DM. So please do not DM me about a product you purchased. Always email the support. And most times we've done this for 3 years. It's just a letter that was missed, that was wrong in the email. That's all. That's the problem. Typing fast. Oh, timer. I want to get to 75% off. A letter is wrong, and then your email doesn't come. And we'll get it. Sandra will get it right to you. All right. For the 1.5% lease rule, is it MSRP plus taxes and fees and first payment, or is it just MSRP plus taxes and fees? So 1%, here's what when you're shopping for a lease, I have this rule I call the 1.5% rule. It's so you to know a bad lease deal. A bad lease deal is when you always get your lease quotes. Remember this, y'all. Remember this. It's all in my book. It'll be on a replay. If you're watching this episode replayed, you take the MSRP of the car. The MSRP is the total. Let me show y'all this. I'm gonna share my screen and I'm gonna show y'all what a window sticker looks like. It's called a Maroni label. You call it a window sticker, and I want you to know what the total price is. You have to know, because this is what you base your this is how you shop your lease deals and measure the value. So check this out. Where is it? Here, boom. TikTok, y'all can't see this, but if you're on Instagram, if you're on YouTube, if you're on Facebook, you'll see this. We'll eventually be able to plug the stream into TikTok, but the way they have it set up right now, it's hard to do. So we're working with support now to be able to do it. All right, so y'all see this right here. See the total manufacturer suggested price, $42,615. That is what it's based off of. Don't look at this price, because that does not include any destination charges. Destination is to get the car from the factory to the dealership. You want to look at that bottom total manufacturer suggested retail price. All right. Now you are going to take that number. Every brand new car in this country has this sticker on it, has that price. Now you get your lease quotes. We get our lease quotes with only first month's payment out of pocket. This does not mean we sometimes put money down. Yes, we sometimes put the taxes, but for the purpose of getting our quotes, we are getting our quotes with first month's payment total out of pocket. And you notice I'm not saying down payment. People will say, oh, I'm going to put first payment down only. Don't use down payment, because in the industry, y'all know I was there for 2006, 14 years. And I'm still in it technically, but there's a term, down payment doesn't include tax, doesn't include fees, it's ambiguous. Like it has multiple meanings. And when you leave things like kind of like, for a person to figure out, they're going to eventually, who's had a person say 2,000 down, and then when they give you the offer, they say, okay, 2,000 down. All you got to do now is come up with another 3,000 for your taxes. And you're like, whoa. I told you I only wanted to put 2,000 down. Who's had that happen? Type of one if you had that happen. The reason is you're not using specific wording that can't be confused. First month's payment total out of pocket. Now, you get that quote, always 12,000 miles per year. Some of you may not know you can do almost any mileage on a lease. You could do 15,000 miles per year, 20,000 miles per year, 25. You pick the mileage on the lease. So in the case of getting the quotes, 12,000 miles per year, first month's payment. And now when you get your quotes, what you're doing is you're dividing the payment they give you into the MSRP. And that's going to give you, like, let's say for that particular car, the payment's $500. They give you a payment $500. You divide that by the MSRP, $42,500, and now you have 0.0117. You multiply that by 100. Again, this is in the book. So you can sit here and look. Some of you might say this is a little complex. You do realize this is the second most expensive purchase behind a car. Behind a house. This is as simple as it gets. It's just you've been taught You've been programmed. You should make 30, 50, $100,000 decisions without even knowing the math of the transaction. So we have to break that program, and we got to unlearn that, because you would never sit here with a house. And if we went over some simple numbers and said, make sure you do this when you're shopping for your house, you'd be like, all right, cool, because you realize the magnitude of the transaction. But we've been programmed to make a $50,000 car buying transaction without going over these numbers. So once you do that, you come up with a percentage, 1.17, 1.5. Once you get over 1.5%, it's no value in leasing that car. Leasing is a value play. You're going to see if there's 500 cars, it's 500 different lease programs. And leasing, the goal of a lease is to beat depreciation that you would pay when you buy. If you bought a car and it lost 50% of its value in the first 3 years, some cars, the Escalade was one of the highest depreciating cars, you would lose that value. It's gone. Your goal with a lease is to drive the best car for little money, small money. That's why you don't pay attention to these commercials. So that's a quick overview of how the 1.5% rule works. It's based on the percentage of the car you're paying, and it was a spinoff of the 1% rule, which kind of every savvy lease buyer knows the 1% rule. If your lease was 1% if your monthly payment was 1% of the MSRP, it was a steal. Don't even ask any questions. Don't negotiate anymore. You stole the car. Get up out of there before they change their mind. That was the 1% rule. That's been around for decades. But people didn't know. People knew what an incredible deal was. They didn't know what a bad deal was. And that's how the 1% rule. That's how I invented the 1.5% rule. Paying too much for a vehicle, you're giving back. All right. Look, this is a problem. Vivian, I purchased the wrong SUV. I desire to purchase the right one. Need to unlearn trading. Look, all you can do, y'all, is assess your step 2 of my process is we have to do an equity assessment. If you have a car you want to replace, you need to see the numbers. Here's what you need to do. And cash buyers, again, all the cash buyers on here, this is easy for you, because most times you're not going to go trade that car in a year or two that you just bought, or 6 months, because you didn't like it, because you know the loss is going to be too big to swallow. But payment buyers who are paying $400 a month, $600 a month, $350 a month, you tend to think I can just go switch cars, no problem. And you don't realize how they're manipulating your loans to be able to get you in these cars with the lost value. So the only thing you can do is call your bank, find out exactly what you owe, and then go to the 6 websites that I teach you to get your car offers from, who pay historically, they pay more than dealers. CarMax.com, Carvana, Driveway, AutoNation, Sell My Car, Kelly's Blue Book, Instant Cash Offer. Those last 2 are dealerships bidding, and those first 3 are online car buyers bidding. So we get everyone to bid. These guys fight relentlessly to buy cars. You can do Car Guru, Sell My Car. And what that's going to do in about 20 minutes while you sit at home, it'll tell you the highest value for your car. And you look at what you owe, and you look at the highest offer. And if you see that the highest offer is $5,000 or $7,000 less than what you owe, then that's your loss you're going to have to take to get into a new car. And some of you, that's going to make you say, you know what, I think I'll deal with this for a little bit. Anyone who buys cars, if Drive Time buys cars, anyone who's buying cars, I want their bid. Because how are we able to get incredible? I've been teaching hundreds of people that I know personally, that I have talked to, that I work with personally, thousands that I have never met, get incredible deals. Some of them email me and I never met them, but they've used my stuff. They've either got the book, or maybe they just pieced together all my videos. I got a lot of videos on a lot of different subjects. How do they get these deals? It's because they've mastered bidding, getting bids. The people who are losing in the old way of car buying, you're doing this back and forth with one person, maybe two. And if the person you're going back and forth with is dangerously overpriced, there's no way you can win. So when you're looking at someone who their price is already 5 or 6 or 7, some of these dealerships had incredible markups that were 10 grand overpriced. I was helping people get the new Broncos when people were paying 10 and 15 grand over sticker, people were getting them with no markups. So you literally had a person who was paying 10 grand more than another person, because they just didn't know how to find the dealerships without the markups. And it's the same problem now. Deshone, how do I find the dealerships with the big discounts? It's called multiple bids, which means you got to sit at home and you do this from your computer while you let these people try to earn your business. You're never going to do it in a dealership. You're never going to do it in a dealership because you don't know who you're dealing with. 80% of dealers, I'm sorry to tell y'all, are overpriced. 80%. There's a 20% of dealers will blow the competition away and beat everyone's prices. 80% are extremely overpriced. And if you're in that dealer because it was the one closest to you, or you can't win. So you must start learning to get bids. Upside down, $8,000 on my lease because I bought when inventory was low. Sorry to hear that. How can I get out? This is exactly what I told you. There is no minimum loss. All you can do is what I just said 3 minutes ago. Find out how much you owe. Go to those car buying sites. These people pay the most for cars. See, so you're not going to go into a dealership and say, how much will you give me for this car, and think that's your bet. They might say your car is only worth 18 to us, but one of these other buyers might offer you 21. So if you don't find these other buyers through bids, you're now shooting yourself in the foot and making your negative equity even greater. Why? Because you didn't go to the highest bidder. You went to this dealership. So you want to find out where your position is, you go here. But I mean, how are you upside down on a lease? A lease has an end term. It has 36 months, boom. It's not really, you can't be upside down on a lease. A lease is not made to have equity. If you're a super low mileage driver, or if your car has great resale value, sometimes we sell our cars at the end. We make tons of money sometimes selling our leases, but that's not what you're getting a lease for. You're getting a lease to drive a car for a super low payment, a brand new car that's reliable, no problems. So how are you upside down? Kind of elaborate on that. I'm lost. My lease is up in May and want to finance my car, but no sure how it works. Why do you want to buy your lease? Why do you want to buy your lease? So you're saying, all right, my lease is up. I've had a car. Now I want to buy a used car. That's what you're saying. That's what you're saying, Mr. Knickerbocker. I want to buy my used car. It's all you're doing. I want to give you a clear understanding. When you buy your lease, all you are doing is buying a used car. Except you don't have to go look at the market, and you don't have to go look at cars, and you don't have to look at websites. You don't have to go inspect it because it's your car. But it is no different than buying a used car. So if you're going to buy a used car, there should be good reasons why you say, I'd rather buy a used car versus staying in an aggressive lease where I'm driving a new car. Now, I'm going to ask you all a question. Everybody on here, how many years are you planning on keeping your next car? Type it into the chat. Oh, we killing the likes. Thank you, TikTok. Appreciate y'all. I see the likes running up. Keep tapping the screen. Thank you so much. How many years are you keeping your next car? So I can follow you to get more information. Of course. 3 years. Okay. 7 to 8 for a non-lease. Now, I'm not sure what that means. 5 to 8 years. Okay, I see you. Forever. No, that's hilarious. Okay, let's see. Okay, 5, no more than 3 years. 8, till it dies. All right, I like that. 6. Okay. So if your answer to this question, let me listen. Jay said 7, done paying this year. So check this out. Forget about the payments of the car. Forget about whether you paid cash for the car. You know how they tell us your biggest expense is taxes? We're trained to see our normal expenses, but we don't understand that our biggest expense with a car is depreciation. I buy a car for 30,000, park it outside, don't drive it 1 mile. Come outside a year later. I never touched the car. Is it worth 30,000? I bought a brand new car, put it right in my driveway. I didn't touch it. I never even went in it. I just made sure I started it so the engine would keep running. I go out a year later. Is it worth 30,000? Not anymore. How about this? I buy a new car. I go out the next 30,000. I go out the next day. Is it worth 30,000? Your biggest expense is the one that you have not been trained to see. It's depreciation. So you're losing 20%. But see, you're making all, see, when you see now what y'all are going to start doing now that this information is coming to you, you're going to start making decisions taking into account depreciation. Before, all you do is make decisions based on payment and what I want and can I afford it? No, because the depreciation curve looks like this, y'all. From the day you buy the car's value is dropping like this on this angle, steep. Now, when you get to about 7, 8 years, here's what starts to happen. It levels out. Some of you who has a car outside now that's 9 years or 10 years old or more? Type me if you have a car outside your house right now that is 9 or 10 years old. Everybody, make sure you get my book. This, if you want everything I teach in one place. If you want everything I teach in one place. You don't have to remember this stuff if you have the book, because the book is your action manual. 75% off in my TikTok bio. It's a digital book. You can use it. It's literally like, it'll be your greatest weapon. 75% off car shopping for people that hate car shopping. Go to my TikTok bio, go to my Instagram bio, or go to deshonesbook.com, or you can scan the QR code on the screen if you're watching on a television. So that if you have a car that's outside, that's 8 or 9 or 10 years old, you notice what it was worth a year ago is just about what it's worth today, right? Right? Somebody said 16 years. Go ahead, Suzanne. It's what it was worth a year ago, what you could have sold it for a year ago, is just about what it's worth today, right? The depreciation curve has leveled out. And what y'all need to know is if you're not buying a car to get to that point, you should not be buying, you should be leasing. Some of you say, Deshone, I have no desire to keep a car that long. I have no 7 years, 8, 4 years, 5. The name of the game is in the book. Thank you so much, Spicy. I appreciate it. You're going to see I created something called the 8-year rule, because the 8-year rule allows you to say, until I get to 8 years, I'm not out of the woods of depreciation yet. So I'm not buying this car. If you are buying a car and you have no plans to get to where the depreciation curve levels out, you're selling a car while it's drastically losing value. That's why you're always mad when you see how much your car is worth. Guarantee you, none of the people who have a car that's 9, 10, 12, 16 years old, nobody's upset when they see that the car is worth 3,000. If they sold it on Facebook Marketplace, I could get 3,000 for it. We don't sell those cars to dealers. Don't give them to dealers for 500 or 300 or $100. Don't do that. They're better off going to a family member, or they're better off going to Facebook Marketplace. You know, young person pay you a couple $1,000s and they can have a car, because there's still value in the car. It's just not value to a dealership because you've used up most of the value. So that's why it's called the 8-year rule. Your question is when you say, should I buy? Should I lease? This is the most important question in a car deal. It's the first question. It's the only thing you should be asking. What I just asked y'all, for the rest of your life, every time you or your family member needs a car, that should be the first question. How many years you gonna keep the car? If they tell you, man, I'm gonna keep it like somebody over here said, till it dies. Perfect. You purchased that car then. If they tell you, Man, probably 3-4 years. You think about the depreciation curve, and what they're saying is, I'm gonna buy the car here, that thing gonna drop in value like crazy, and then I'm gonna sell out of it here. Horrible business move, horrible financial move. I'm gonna sell it while this thing is dropping like a daggone rock in the ocean. I'm just gonna sell out of it. With a lease, and we don't want to buy, you don't look at these commercials. Those are not lease deals. Those are marketing to try to get people to come in. And no. The best lease deals you'll never see them advertised. Check this out. Look at Greg's lease deal on his Jeep he just got. I'm gonna show it to you. If you're on TikTok, again, we'll be here soon. I'll be able to stream and show my screen, but we don't have TikTok has a little bit of a different technology but on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, you guys can see this. Look at Greg's lease deal, y'all. Greg got a $56,000 vehicle. It's a Kia Win EV6 Win with the tech package. He's paying $527 a month. That's a under 1% lease. Under 1%. Gave him $527, no money down. Walked in, saw a $56,000 car. Just to give you an idea of what a $56,000 car would normally cost, that would every $5,000 on a car loan. So when you look at a car, if it's $10,000, every $5,000 is about $100 a month on a 5-year loan. So when you look at a $10,000 car, it's about $200 a month. $20,000 car, about $400 a month. It's important you know this. Even if you have bad credit, you need to know what it should cost with good credit, how much a loan should be. You shouldn't be looking at a $50,000 car saying, man, can you get me to 600? Because they know you don't understand the numbers. So they might stretch you out into a 9-year loan and say, yeah, I got you to 600. Oh, great. But you're in a 9-year loan. So you're going to pay for that car and another car just like it. So it's important for you to know that car right here that Greg got that's on the screen would normally be $1,200 a month. Once he factors in his tax, so even if he got some money off of it, say he got the $7,500 electric car rebate, he's still over $1,000 a month for 5 years. He's paying $527. Think about when he pulls up next to the person who purchased, and it looks at him and says, "Oh, we got the same car, man. Okay, how much you paying?" Yeah, man, it's a nice car, man. I'm paying about $1,050. It's $50,000 car though. Oh man, I'm paying $527. Dad, how you do that? What you put, like 30 grand down? No, I lease it. I'm gonna drive it for 3 years, and I go get me something else. Oh yeah, but I own this though. I'm purchasing it. You don't own it. First of all, the bank owns it. You think you own it? Miss 3 payments. You'll find out. So, but no, I got the loan. I'm a flip out of it. Yeah, but $1,000 a month is coming out of your household, and $527 a month is coming out of mine. They're not advertising these deals on these vehicles. You will never see a great lease deal advertised. So from now on, don't pay attention when you see a commercial that says, "Oh, lease this with all this money down." Most of the leases you're going to see me show you that my people get, and that I want you getting, and that I want you DMing me saying, "Deshone, look what I got," are shot with first payment total out of pocket, no money additional. And then we choose if we're going to put additional money down, if we want to lower the payment. But these will never be advertised. These will never be advertised. Great deals are never advertised. Great deals are made in private, where the managers just, all right, just do it. Take it. Dang, that was an ugly deal, but hey, it's okay. We'll make money on somebody else. That's great deals. All right, let's get back. Let me put the banner back up. Let's keep the questions going. Hold on. Let's hide that. Where's my banner? Boom. All right, here we go. Back to the comments. Back to the questions. Let's go. Shout out to the sharers. I see a lot of people sharing. I see a lot of new followers, a lot of new subscribers. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome to the family. This is what we do over here. Talk about cash again, please. Did you say it's not a good idea? Debbie, it's a good idea only if you are going to, first of all, you want to ask yourself, what am I doing with my money? Now, if you're making money on your money, and to the tune of, 6, 8, 10, 20%, people who are making money on their money very rarely are going to put their money in a car without analyzing it. Because think about it. If I got 30, let's say we're looking at a car that's 30 grand. Let me ask y'all a question first, and then we'll go deeper on this. Who was taught always pay cash for cars? Be honest, type a dollar sign if you were taught always pay cash for cars. That's not wrong. I'm just gonna give you another perspective that you should measure against. And I was fortunate enough to where when I worked for Mercedes-Benz and when I worked for General Motors, I always worked in blue and white collar towns where I was dealing with people that made 30 grand, but I was also dealing with people that made 300 grand and millions. So that gave me a great perspective. So check this out. If a car's 30 grand and a person could keep their money invested and they're making money, you have to look at something called opportunity cost. So if I kept my money in the market, if I kept my money in real estate, whatever, if I invested this into this piece of property, what would that 30 grand be worth in 5 years? What's my interest? What's my return? My net profit? And when I look at putting that same 30,000 in a car instead of using the bank's money at 3%, 4%, borrowing the bank's money at a low interest, but I'm using my money to make a higher return, I'm gonna net out positive. I'm gonna net out with a gain. They're not gonna put the money in a car because when they put 30 grand, not only is their 30 grand gone, they can't get it back, but that 30 grand car, how much is the car worth in 5 years? So I parked 30 grand in a car. How much is that car worth in 5 years? What, 12? So my 30 grand that I just parked in that car in 5 years, my 30 grand's worth 12. If I park this 30 grand in the market or in a property or in anything that's making me more money, my 30 grand is probably going to make me another 4, 5, 6 grand, 7 grand, depending on what I'm getting. And that's how they look at it. So there's no right or wrong. It really depends on what you're doing with your money and how much you can borrow the bank's money, what the bank's charging you. If rates are high, 7, 8, 10%, then yeah, pay cash. But if rates are low, or if the car you're looking at has like a 2% interest rate or 0% special, banks giving you cheap or free money, you can keep your money in your bank account or you can keep it invested and still get the car. So that's how people weigh out the cash. If it was from a straight up financial intelligence conversation, that's the conversation. All of this always pay cash without considering these things. It's just like somebody called Dave Ramsey and said, hey, I built a $22 million real estate portfolio and I use some leverage. I don't over leverage. And Dave Ramsey was fascinated because Dave Ramsey pays cash for all his properties. So he's teaching everyone pay cash for the property. So when you're dealing with this young person who owns 22 million in real estate and it has a small amount of debt against it, a lot of equity, I mean, it's more than one way to skin a cat. And that's the only thing I don't like about what Dave Ramsey teaches. He does a great job in a lot of areas, but it's some areas that he's just not sharing all the options from financially wise people. So that's it. That's more in the book. We talk about that in the book. I have deal structure for cash buyers in the book. This is all things that need to go in, y'all. And if you have an intelligent financial advisor, this is the things that they're talking to you about. All of this other stuff is meant to sell you something. And if they're selling you a car, there's no way they're telling you about this. Most are not. They're not trained to even know this, quite honestly. I feel bad for car salesmen because they come in with the right motives, but they're just not trained in any of this. They're not trained in depreciation. We don't get trained in resale value. We don't get trained in leasing. We don't get trained in, all the stuff we got to talk to the public about. So it's not like these car salesmen are just malicious. Some of them are, many of them are, but a lot of them just don't know what the heck they're talking about because they got a job. And then in a week, they was like, they told me when I was 22, and shout out to but he was a nice guy. He said, get the customers to like you and then come to us for the numbers. It's like, okay, you can never do that in real estate. Like, get them to like you and then let someone else do the numbers. Get the heck out of here. This is how we train people. So, all right, let's keep it going. Welcome to the new people. Shout out to the sharers. Retired, getting money from an estate, no trade in, don't want to know. What is the last, want it to be the, all right. I guess that was a comment, not a question. What about the amount of the down payment? Does that matter when the payment is still going to be high? Well, down payment is always applied. Listen, y'all, very important. Down payment doesn't come into the picture until we already make sure we're getting a great deal on the car, which means we paid a great price for the car. See, because sometimes we use affordability to measure a deal. No. Somebody could offer me $1 million house right now and say, hey, it's yours. The mortgage is, we're going to sell it to you for $700,000. It's a great deal. Not in my budget. You know what I'm saying? Affordability doesn't matter. Somebody can say, Deshone, we're going to give you a Bentley right now. Normally these are $250,000. We'll give it to you for $190. Okay, phenomenal. We'll give it to you for $150. We'll give you $100,000 off a brand new Bentley. It's a deal, right? Could we all agree a brand new $250,000 Bentley, they take off $100,000, sell it to us for $150. Can we all agree that's a deal, right? It doesn't mean it's in my budget. So we can't use affordability to measure a deal. We measure a deal based on shopping offers. Now, once you come in, when it comes to down payment, we need to know before we ever think about a down payment, did we get a great price on the car? How we're going to structure the loan and all of that, that's our business. That's between us, our bank, and the budgeting. I go over this, and this is in step 3 of my book. It's 7 steps. For y'all who just jumped on, I have a new book. It's a digital book called Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping. 7 steps to saving time, money, and avoiding dealerships. Step 3, we go over deal structure. That's when we're going over our banks. That's when we're talking about this, something I call a bank bidding war. We're going to have all these banks and credit unions bid for our business, but it doesn't happen before we find our car. All of the financing and the monthly payment terms, that happens independent from the dealership. You should not be going over your monthly payment terms with the dealership. Here's what the dealership you're going to buy the car from. This is what they do. Did they win the bid? That's it. You have a product. Other dealers have a similar product or even the same product. And I'm shopping in a way where you're going to be bidding just like they are. All of you have a shot at my business. And whoever wins, congratulations. Has nothing to do with the loan, has nothing. It's the price of the car. So we do the same thing with a lease. I need to know my lease is under 1.5%. When I look at all those offers, you saw Greg, his lease was under 1%. I'm gonna show you some other people who 1%, 1.1, 1.2, 1. I need to know I got the best deal in the market, which means the dealer won the bid, and then I'll look at, can I afford that payment? And sometimes you might say, wow, okay, this is an incredible deal. I'm just going to put a couple thousand down. I want to lower my payment about $70. I'm going to put down about $1,500. I'm going to put down about $2,000, lower my monthly payment. But if you don't understand this, now you're trying to buy your deal. Now you're going and saying, oh, how much is this car? Oh, it's $700 a month. All right, well, what if I put down like $5? All right, well, we could get you to $590. All right, let's do it. No. You're manipulating the loan. We ain't focused on the price of the car. We can't do that. And that's what, unfortunately, most people have been trained to do. But we're not doing that anymore. So that's how we take into account down payments. It's on our terms. If you can get the car you want and you get the offer and then somebody wins the bid and there's no down payment necessary, you could afford the payment with your bank or with whoever wins. We'll talk about the bank bidding war. Remind me to talk about, the bank bidding war. We get bids for everything. Remind me to talk about that. Somebody remind me before we wrap up. But if you can get a car in the budget, somebody wins the bid, no down payment, do it. But if you look and say, man, I got a deal and you want to lower your payment a little bit, that's when we do down payment. All right, wonderful information. Keep going. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's say they bring you in and you don't like what they're saying. Nobody's bringing me in. Maybe I didn't understand the question, but again, if y'all do it my way, you're in total control because now you're the prize. No one's bringing us in. Oh, the book. Oh, wait a minute. Somebody said, where can I get the book? Because I hate dealerships. So look, The book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. You can go to my TikTok bio, click that website, click the picture of me on TikTok or Instagram. You won't leave the broadcast, and then just click the website, and then you'll see a link that says new book 75% off, and just click that and grab your copy. It's an instant download, and it's a digital book because you'll see there's links in there. I have links to some videos. You're going to be reading the book and you'll be like, I'll say, hey, if you want me to explain this to you in a short video, click this, and then it'll take you to a video. All stuff we couldn't do with a print book. And again, as the market changes, any websites that I use change, you'll see my scripts are in there. Everything that you're going to be typing on website, that's all in there. Anytime I want to update that, I can do it quickly with a digital book. I can't do that with a physical book. So grab your copy, or you can go to deshonesbook.com and get your copy for 75% off for the next 30 minutes while we're on the broadcast. So, what if they're trying? I get what you're saying. Like trying to schedule an appointment. Skinner, that's normal. He said, what if they try to bring you in? Like, obviously, we know as soon as we get on the phone with a dealership, one of the first questions they're going to say is, when can you come in? First, that's why we're not on the phone with them. Now, the only time we are calling a dealership is when we're going to sell our lease to a used car manager because we have a third-party restriction. In that case, we're talking to the used car manager because the third-party restriction limit who you can sell to. So we're going to get bids from used car managers. We're not talking to salesmen. You are not calling. There's nothing in my book where you should ever be calling, speaking to a salesman. Scheduling a test drive, possibly, but you're in for a test drive and you're out in 20 minutes. That's it. The way I teach you to schedule a test drive on a new car or a lease, you should be there for 20 minutes, 30 minutes tops, and you're gone. Thank you. Listen, I'm because this is step 4. It's something I call shopping, not buying. You've been trained to mix the two. I went shopping, ended up buying. We don't do that. Shopping for us is deciding what we want. Part of deciding what we want is the test drive. So once we decide what we want, we come home and we get offers from home. So the only other time we're on the phone is when we're calling to verify that there are no fake fees on a used car that we see online. So when you get to step 5, we use I want you to shop on all the used car marketplaces because they all have different inventory. There's 8 of them. Now, when you're on these websites, you're actually screening, narrowing these cars down, narrowing them down based on title. I teach you how to do all this. The first thing you're looking for when you're narrowing it down is title. Then you go into service records, because if a car doesn't have good service records, it's eliminated. I know some of you said, Deshone, but what if they changed the oil and they didn't report it? What if they didn't? If we can't verify it, then we are next. So we go from title to service records to accident history, and then we get the original price of the car. Tell y'all how important this is. My God, who's bought a used car in their life? I want you to type you if you have bought a used car in your life. You. No, we don't need to focus on CarMax. There's no advice on CarMax because CarMax is just one player in a big sea of who we do business with or give an opportunity to earn our business. We give CarMax an opportunity to buy our cars, and when we're shopping for a used car, they're one of the marketplaces where we look at their inventory. No person supersedes anything. So we don't need to spend time with CarMax or Carvana or a dealership. Like, they're all just people who get an opportunity to earn our business, and somebody's going to win. This is not a relationship thing. So, all right. So all of you who have purchased a used car in your life, watch this. One of the things that you didn't have, and if you did, then, I would say most people wouldn't have it. The original window sticker from the car. So this is how most people overpay for a used car and how y'all are not going to do it anymore. When you are purchasing a used car, they have things that they want to manipulate and show market value. Market value is nothing, because there's only 2 words that matter when it comes to market value: below market. All right. below market. As long as you are with me, as long as you're like, man, I want to use what Deshone said, man, I want to teach, then you got to get familiar with these two things: below market. If I'm leasing, I want a below market lease like Greg got. If I'm purchasing a new car, I want a below market purchase on a new car. If I'm buying a used car, I want a below market used car. So market value, forget what the market's paying. Now, the original window sticker tells us what is in the car and how much the car was originally priced. And without that information, we can't make a great deal. Sorry to tell you. I'm gonna give you an example with my Infiniti truck. I bought an Infiniti truck about a year ago. I'm on the marketplaces. I'm narrowing it down. I narrow it down to my top four. My top four, they're all white. They're all, similar, right? Mileage varies from 26,000 to, probably low 30s. I'm looking at all four of them. They're in a similar price range. This is where most people choose the wrong car. When you get the original window sticker, here's what happens. I pull the original window sticker. This can sometimes be acquired through Carfax. Sometimes I got a secret strategy I'll tell y'all now. It's in the book, among other things, where you go right to the dealer's website, because the marketplace might not give you the free Carfax, but the dealer most dealers have a contract with Carfax. So if you simply just click from the marketplace to the dealer site and find the actual listing on the dealer site, you'll see the daggone Carfax right there on the dealer site. Secret sauce. So now I pull that Carfax and I see, okay, this car, now Carfax doesn't have agreements with everyone to show the window sticker. But once I get the window sticker, I see this first Infiniti, remember, they're all in a similar price range. This first one is $46,000 brand new. It has this equipment. This next one is $48,000 brand new with this equipment. This next one is $52,000 brand new, similar with that equipment. And this one that I ended up getting was $54,000 brand new. What does that mean? I got a bunch of features those other cars didn't have. I have packages that those other cars didn't have. So although we're sitting there and we're looking at our top choices and like, oh, they look similar. Yeah, they look similar until you get the original window sticker. And now this is how we get something called the true value percentage. I call this the true value percentage. It's based on the discount from the brand new price, not the discount that dealer's giving. Used cars, the dealer's discount doesn't matter because the dealer could discount, but if another vehicle is offered with no discount, but it's a deeper discount from the brand new price, you might be saving 40%, 50% from the brand new price. That's the best deal. You could sit up here and take $2,000 from a dealer and then you only have a small percentage off the brand new price. This is the most important thing. Once you verify it's a quality car, you cannot get a great used car deal without knowing what the car was priced at originally. You can't. And unfortunately, that's how we had people all through the pandemic who were buying used cars and paying almost the same price for them as when they were new. If you had the true value percentage, they could have avoided this because they would have said, wait a minute, I see you asking $28,000 for this car, but brand new, it was $29,500. How, like, it's 3 years old. True value percentage. That's how you buy a used car. That's how you lock in. Now we verify there's no bogus fees. We get to that dealership, we test drive, and we lock up that car. That's a below market used car deal. Welcome. I see the sharers. Thank you for everybody who just came on. Everything I teach is out of my book. Everything that you see on my social media videos is out of my book. There is the information exists the same place. So do you want it all in one spot? Because y'all see, we answering a bunch of questions from a bunch of different people: used cars, leases, new cars, cash buyers, all of these different types of people. That's how my videos are. So you might be watching all my videos and be like, oh, wow, which one's for me? high mileage drivers. If you want everything in one spot, you grab your copy of Car Shopping for people that hate car shopping. In my TikTok bio, you won't leave the broadcast. Click the picture of me on Instagram, go to that website, and then just click it, grab your copy. 75% off for our official launch, or go to deshonesbook.com. Because of your book, I was confident enough to negotiate a 1.2% deal based on the 1.5% rule on my new lease. Congratulations, Callie. See, that's the type of, you notice she didn't even tell us what kind of car she got. Because that's secondary. See, you notice Fernando said, just click the TikTok bio. He said, how do I get access to the book? Look, if you notice, y'all, I want y'all talking different and I want y'all doing different things. You notice when somebody gets a new car, they come, the first thing they tell you is, I got a new Honda. Hey, look, I just got a new Toyota, whatever. I just got a new Benz. They never talk about the money, because secretly they're a little bit, nobody wants to find out they made a bad decision. That's why I admire all of you for being, you're willing to hear the hard truth. You know, there's some things I'm going to say to you that is not going to be what you want to hear, but it's what you need to hear, so that your next car deal and every car deal your family makes forever is a deal that you are totally confident with. And when you are confident in your car deals, you're going to be able to show the numbers. You're going to be able to go to the numbers, and you're going to care really more. You're going to care as much about the deal as you care about the car. So, Callie, congratulations. 1.2% lease is phenomenal. That's major value. That's thousands less than someone who's purchasing, and that's thousands less than most people are leasing that same car for, because most people are not trained to get those kind of lease deals. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of the journey. All right, let's go two more. Matter of fact, let's wrap with the bank bidding war. We'll talk about this again I'll be back today at 3. What you're going to see is I'm doing these live shows at 12 and 3 roundabout. When you see me live, we're still now really laying the foundation for these live shows. And then we're going to rebroadcast the episodes, because what we found is people, even when they're watching the episodes, they're like, man, these are the same questions that I would have had if I was on the live. So even though I'm not on the live show, I'm still benefiting, because those are the same questions I was going to ask. But let's wrap with this bank bidding war, y'all. The bank bidding war is when you actually make banks and credit unions bid for your loan. You don't want to actually have a dealership only get you your loan. You also don't want to have your bank only, or your credit union only, getting you your loan. There's something, and you can Google this. You can literally type this into Google, and you will see that Experian has an article that shows you how to rate, that gives you permission to rate shop. Rate shopping done correctly, you have a window. Oh, in that window, Experian says it's 45 days. In that window, you can let 10, 20, 30 banks and credit unions access your credit with a hard pull. And at the end, when that window closes, it will only weigh on your score as one hard inquiry. So if one hard inquiry would have dropped your score 9 points, 30 banks bidding on your business will drop your score 9 points. And the reason why you need to shop like this is because these banks make money on your loans. These banks are not our friends. They're service providers. We don't want to have friends in business when we're getting bids, because when you're getting bids, a person that wins the bid today or this year, they might not like you when they lose the bid on your next car. So if it's a relationship thing, they're going to say, oh, come on now, I've been selling you cars for years. Come on, I shouldn't have to bid. That's their logic. We know we're not allowing that. Everyone's bidding. So even your bank that you've been doing business with for 10 years or 5 years or 20 years, they still need to compete against other people who want to give you a loan. Because if you can save 1 point on your interest rate, depending on how much you're borrowing, that's $1,000. And some of you who are, I mean, you're going to see using this strategy, you'll save 2 and 3 points on your interest rate. And you're talking about 2 and 3 and $4,000. So the same way we are getting bids for the car we're buying, getting bids for the car we're selling, the lease we're selling, the bank is a part of that. So once you go get, and we don't let anybody, remember this, we'll talk about this more at 3. I'll be back at 3. When you let these banks, you don't let anybody touch your credit until you have found a car, because you don't want to open up you don't want to start that rate window, that 45-day period. You don't want to start that. And then now the clock is ticking on you, because now you're in a hurry to find a car before the window closes. You want to actually start the bank bidding war after you found your car. So you find your car, you lock up the deal, you come home with that buyer's order, and now you go online, you call your bank, and you see all the online lenders. I have some listed in the book. You call your credit union, your bank, hey, I'm getting a car, want to see what you could offer me. No problem. Yep, here's my credit. Boom. Okay, we'll give you 6.9%. Perfect. All right, call the credit union. Hey, we'll give you 6.2%. Great. All right, you go online to a couple of the online resources. Okay, you get this. Now, this is very important. Once you have that best offer, now you're calling the dealership you got the car from, that you have it on hold with, and you're saying, hey, I have this from my credit union. I got 6.29. If any of your banks can beat it, I'll do the deal with you. And now you let that finance manager see. It's different when the finance manager is trying to beat an offer you have. See, what you're used to is no offer, and the finance manager hears the conversation that they're having. What's the highest rate you think we can get them to pay? That's the conversation. What is the highest rate you think they'll pay? And we still have a deal. You don't want that conversation. That's a conversation with no bids. But when you come in and you say, hey, when you call them and say, hey, listen, I got 6.29 from my credit union. If any of your banks can beat it, I'll do the deal with you. Now he's saying, well, thanks for the opportunity. Now he's calling his banks that he gives millions of dollars of loans to, or she gives millions of dollars in loans to every month. And she's like, hey, listen, I need you. Can you come with 599? I'm trying to beat this bank. Now they call you and say, hey, good news. I beat that by half a point. I beat that by a point. Now you just save more money. But if you don't let all these people bid, you're giving the bank the extra money. That's the bank bidding war. But you got to do it right. You can't be going from dealer to dealer. Many people doing the bank bidding war wrong, letting all these dealers run their credit, or they're letting the bank get a hard inquiry before they even go and find their car. Got to do this right. No, dealership doesn't run your credit first unless you let them, Tommy. Unless you let them. And we don't let them. There's no reason at all. Listen, you use the book. We'll do more Q&A. But there's no reason that a dealer should have your credit before you have purchased the car. You don't need to let the dealer run your credit to get an offer, a lease offer. You don't need to let the dealer run your credit to get a really, we don't use dealers for finance offers. There's no reason. So if you have let them run your credit, it's because you were, for some reason, made to think that you needed to let them run your credit. No, we don't. We don't. So, all right. Listen, I'm going to jump off. I got some things to do before the next show, but I appreciate everybody who got the book. If you just jumped on, my new book is officially out, and we'll be doing this show to really make sure that everyone can get the answers they need. But if you want everything I teach, my new book is called Car Shopping for People That Hate Car Shopping. 7 Steps to Saving Time, Money, and Avoiding Dealerships. Everything I teach is from those 7 steps, starting with the most important question, which I asked y'all earlier: how many years are you keeping the next car? And then step 7 is delivery. So that book is not a book you read, it's a book you use. You're not going through the book and saying, okay, I read the whole book, now let me go get my car. No, by the time you get to step 6, which is paperwork and protection, you should have your car locked up, and you should be talking about paperwork, protection, and getting ready to go pick up your car. Step 7 is delivery. So you shouldn't be reading delivery if you haven't gotten to the step where by the time you get there, you should be like, okay, I'm at the end. I shouldn't be congratulating you at step 7. You're in the book, and I'm like, congratulations, you're at the finish line, and you ain't. No, it's not that type of book. It's literally an action step, and by the time you get to step 7, your car's outside, or you're going to pick up your car. So that's what it's about, and it's a digital book because I want to be able to update it on the fly. If any websites change, you have my scripts in there, you have my templates, anything that we use and I have a video library too. So I work with people, hundreds of people all around the country in my video library, Cars from Home University, and coaching. So I'm able to keep my pulse on everything that's happening in the market, literally day by day, all the offers. Like, so anything that changes that I need to update, I can do it quickly with a digital book so that, you don't have to buy a print book from me. And then in a daggone year, the thing is not relevant anymore because things have changed. So you can get your copy in my TikTok bio, click the link, or you could get it in my Instagram bio. There's a website link there, and then you'll see a button that says 75% off for our launch. So as long as that timer hasn't hit 0, you won't pay the normal $97 price. But at $97, it's incredible value. We've had tons of people that got it for $97. That's how we're able to have we got a 4.9 rating on Goodreads. So, but for our launch, we're doing something special. So I appreciate everybody. We'll be back for the next session. And everybody that got the book, use it. Please send me your success stories. Please continue to review it if the book helped you. Well, when it helps you, please go to Goodreads, because the more reviews we get, the more people can find that book, and the more lives we get to change. So I appreciate it. Shout out to the sharers. Make sure the 2 people that get the free book, make sure y'all DM me and we'll get you y'all free books. And God bless y'all. I'll see y'all soon.